She let them laugh at me. You never do, right? That's the whole point of betrayal. It doesn't come from your enemies. It comes from the people you trusted to hold your heart with both hands and not crush it for fun. And with Emily, I handed her everything. Every insecurity, every secret, every scar. I gave it all to her like she was a safe place. But I was wrong. Because when it really mattered, when I needed her to stand beside me, she didn't just step away. She joined them. And she laughed. It still plays in my head like some sick, looping video I can't shut off. But maybe I should start at the beginning. We met in high school, junior year. She transferred in halfway through the semester, sitting 2 rows in front of me in AP Lit. I remember the way her dark hair fell across her cheek as she took notes, how she tapped her pen when she was thinking. She was smart, but not the show-off kind. Funny, but only when she wanted to be. Quiet in class, loud with friends. A walking contradiction. I was nobody back then. Just some awkward kid with crooked teeth and a bad haircut. I didn't have the confidence, the social pull, the name everyone knew. But somehow she noticed me. It started with shared jokes in the hallway, glances during class, a subtle smile when we passed each other, then texts, long ones, the kind that make your chest feel warm at night. And then one night, after weeks of talking about everything and nothing, she sent, "Can I tell you something kind of insane? Sure. I think I like you." I read that text about 50 times before I responded. And when I finally typed back, "I like you too," I swear something cracked open inside me. Like the world had just shifted in my favor for once. That was the beginning. We started dating a week later. I was the cliché, head over heels, puppy-eyed, can't stop smiling kind of in love. She made me feel seen in a way no one else ever had. She asked questions about my day and actually listened. She hugged me like she meant it, kissed me like I mattered. I didn't care that we were different, that I was introverted and awkward and always second-guessing myself, while she was magnetic and confident and practically sparkled around other people. I thought we balanced each other. I thought what we had was real. And maybe, for a while it was. But things started to shift senior year. It was subtle at first. The way she started hanging out more with her cheer friends. The way her laugh became just a bit louder around them. Her jokes a bit sharper. She started talking about parties more. About rebranding her image for college applications. About not wanting to be boxed in. I didn't know what any of that meant. I just knew that sometimes I'd walk past her in the hall and she'd be in the middle of a group, all eyes on her, and she wouldn't even see me. But I didn't complain. I didn't push. Because I trusted her. And because every time I got scared that I was losing her, she'd pull me close and say something like, "You're still my favorite person, you know that, right?" God, I was such an idiot. The moment everything really started to unravel was when she introduced me to her new crew. That's what she called them. "Babe, you've got to come to Taylor's this Friday," she said, bouncing excitedly on my bed. "The whole crew's gonna be there." "I don't really know them," I said. "So? You know me." That was the logic I clung to. I didn't know them, but I knew her. And she said I'd be fine. She lied. Taylor was the queen bee type, blonde, ruthless, and always judging people with her eyes before she even opened her mouth. The rest of the group was no better. A mix of athletes, rich kids, and social climbers who laughed at things that weren't funny and smiled like sharks. From the second I walked into that party, I knew I didn't belong. I didn't drink much. I didn't know the music. I stood awkwardly at the edge of conversations I wasn't invited to. I tried to talk, to make some kind of impression, but every joke I made fell flat. Every attempt to contribute was met with smirks or silence. And Emily? She didn't help. She didn't pull me aside. Didn't wrap her arm around mine. Didn't tell them to back off when they started making fun of my hoodie or the way I talked. She just laughed. It started with little things. Like when one of the guys, Jason, I think, made some sarcastic comment about my shoes. "Bro, are those from 2012 or are you time traveling?" Everyone laughed. Even her. I looked at her, waited for her to say something, to defend me. She didn't. Later, when someone brought up their college acceptances, I mentioned I got into a state school with a partial scholarship. Taylor looked at me like I said I was applying to clown college. "That's cute," she said, sipping from her red Solo cup. "Emily said you were, like, really smart though?" More laughter. Subtle. Cruel. "And Emily?" She just smiled and said, "He is. He's just modest." I wanted to leave, but I didn't, because I was too in love to admit what was happening, that I was being turned into a punchline. and that the girl I trusted most was letting it happen. Worse, she was part of it. You ready for more? After that party, something inside me cracked a little. I tried to talk to her about it. I really did. The next day, we were alone in her room. Her parents were out. She was lying on her bed scrolling through Instagram while I sat at the edge, my hands fidgeting in my lap. I said carefully, can I ask you something? She looked up from her phone. Yeah. Last night, did it seem like they were making fun of me? Her brow furrowed, like I just asked if the sky was blue. What? No. They were just joking. I don't know. Some of the stuff Taylor said. She rolled her eyes. Taylor's like that with everyone. She's blunt. It doesn't mean anything. I hesitated. But you laughed. She sat up, annoyed. What was I supposed to do? Get mad at my friends for making a dumb joke about your shoes? I flinched at how easily she said it. I thought you'd have my back. God. She groaned, standing up. Why do you always make everything about how you feel? I bring you to hang out with my friends, and you spend the whole night sulking. Do you know how awkward that was for me? Awkward for her. That was the first time she turned it around on me. Made me feel like I was the problem. Like I was overreacting. Sensitive. Clingy. I apologized. Of course I did. I always did. But from that day on, I noticed the shift getting worse. The jokes got bolder. Her defense of me got quieter. And then came the night. I call it that because it deserves a title. Because it's the moment everything fell apart. It was Taylor's birthday. She was throwing a massive party, the kind with a guest list, a hired DJ, and rented lights. Emily begged me to go with her. I don't want to be the only one showing up without a date, she said, pouting. Please. Even after everything, I still said yes. I still believed that maybe if I showed up, acted cool, played along, she'd see me again. See us. Remember what we had. That night, I dressed the best I could. Wore a new shirt. Borrowed cologne from my older brother. I even practiced some lines in the mirror. But none of it mattered. From the moment we walked into that party, I was invisible. Emily was swept away into a sea of glitter and noise. She kissed me on the cheek and disappeared into the crowd. I stood near the drink table, pretending to text. Watching. They didn't even hide it anymore. I heard them whispering, laughing. And then Jason came over. He was drunk. Loud. The kind of guy who walked like he owned every room. Yo, he said, clapping me on the shoulder. You're Emily's charity case, right? I blinked. What? He smirked. Dude, relax. I'm just messing. I mean, props to her. Taking in the strays and all. More laughter from behind him. Two of the cheer girls were giggling like it was the funniest thing in the world. Hey, real talk though, he leaned closer. Is it true you've never, hit that? The blood drained from my face. What? Come on, man. Emily's hot as hell. Don't tell me you two are just holding hands and praying. I stared at him, speechless. He laughed louder. Bro, I knew it. That's adorable. Behind him, one of the girls pulled out her phone. She was recording. Say hi, lover boy, she chirped. The camera flash hit me in the face. I backed away. And then, like some cosmic joke, I saw Emily. She was standing near the stairs, watching it all, watching me. And she was smiling. Not the smile I fell in love with. Not the sweet, soft one she used to give me when we were curled up on the couch watching movies. This was different. This one was cruel. Like she enjoyed it. Like she wanted them to humiliate me. I left the party in silence. Walked the whole way home, even though it was freezing. I didn't answer her texts. I didn't answer her calls. But the next day, I got a message from Taylor. A video. That video. Me. Frozen. Awkward. Embarrassed. Trying to shrink into myself while Jason mocked me and Emily stood by laughing. They put a caption on it. Her pet project. Dog face broken heart. It had over 400 views. By Monday morning, the whole school had seen it. Some people just looked at me with pity. Others laughed. A few even clapped when I walked into the cafeteria like I was part of some inside joke. And Emily? She sat with them. At their table. Still smiling. Like nothing was wrong. Like I hadn't just been shattered. Like I was never more than a toy she used to get in with the cool crowd. That was when it hit me. She never really loved me. She just loved the attention. Loved being the one who could say, look, I'm so sweet I date the weird, quiet guy. Until it wasn't useful anymore. Until I became a burden. So she let them laugh. She let them tear me apart, piece by piece. And she laughed too. I should have seen it coming. But I didn't. Because I was in love. And love makes you blind. The video didn't just humiliate me. It destroyed something inside me. Something I didn't know was breakable. The comments under the post were relentless. Bro's still on demo mode. No way she was serious with him, faced with tears of joy. Imagine thinking you were in a real relationship while she was getting DMs from half the football team. Each word hit like a slap. And Emily never defended me. Never once posted a story saying it wasn't cool. Never texted to check on me. Nothing. She ghosted me. After 2 years together, she just vanished into that world where image mattered more than people. I couldn't eat. Couldn't sleep. I skipped school for 3 days straight. Pretended to be sick. My mom thought it was the flu. It wasn't. It was her. On the 4th day, I forced myself to go back. I walked through those halls like a ghost, trying not to meet anyone's eyes. Whispers followed me. Laughter. Phones raised when I passed by. I was a joke now. A meme. And she was fine. Better than fine. She bloomed. She wore tighter clothes. Changed her hair. She started dating Jason within a week. The same Jason who called me a charity case. They didn't even try to hide it. Their hands all over each other in the hallway. Her lips on his neck. She looked at me once while they kissed. She looked like she wanted me to see. Like she wanted it to hurt. And it did. God, it did. But something inside me had already started to rot. And when rot sets in, it spreads. I started skipping lunch. Started sitting in the back of classes. Stopped answering my friends' texts. One day, I stayed in the bathroom stall for 2 whole periods. Just sat there, on the cold toilet seat, reading and rereading the comments. Looking at her feed, her smile, her perfect skin, her sparkling eyes, her freedom. She looked so happy, like she'd never even known me. Like none of it meant anything. And maybe it didn't. Maybe I really was just a prop. A stepping stone. Someone she could use to prove a point or feel better about herself. I started keeping track of all the moments I remembered that now looked different. Like when she made me change my shirt before going out. You don't want to look like that, do you? Or when she laughed at my playlist and told me to stop playing depressed loser music in her car. Or how she always talked over me when we were in groups. How she once said, "You're lucky I even like you." I used to think she was teasing. Now I realized she was warning me. She didn't love me. She loved the power. And I let her have it. Every time I apologized. Every time I tried to be less sensitive. Every time I told myself, she's just under pressure. Every time I let her laughter be more important than my pain. I started writing it all down. Page after page. Filling notebooks with everything I never said. Everything I wish I screamed. Until one day, I decided I wasn't going to be quiet anymore. I didn't go nuclear. I didn't post some big expose. I didn't scream at her in the hallway or throw a drink in her face. No, that would have given her the drama she craved. And I was done feeding her ego. Instead, I printed out one of the pages from my notebook. Just one. And I slipped it into her locker. Folded neatly. No name. No threats. Just my handwriting. It read, "You made me feel small to feel bigger. You laughed when they mocked me. You watched me drown and called it a joke. I used to love you. Now I mourn the person I was when I believed you were real." That was it. My last word. She never said anything about it. But I saw her reading it the next morning. I saw her fingers shake. Just for a second. Then she folded it and tucked it into her bag. No tears. No apologies. Just that same mask. But that was fine. I didn't write it for her. I wrote it for me. The truth is, she won. She got what she wanted. Attention, status, a new boy. She stepped over me like I was a rung on her ladder. But what she doesn't know is that every time I see her smile now, every time she posts another perfect selfie, I see the cracks. I see the emptiness behind her eyes. The constant hunger for validation. The fear that maybe someday, someone will do to her what she did to me. And I'll be watching. Not out of spite. Not for revenge. But because I need to remind myself. I survived her. That matters. That means something. And maybe, just maybe, one day, someone will love me for real. Not because I'm useful. Not because I'm convenient. But because I'm me. All the broken, soft, quiet parts of me. The parts she tried to burn. She let them laugh. She laughed with them. She left me in the fire. But I walked out. And I'm still standing. Even if I'm scorched. Even if I still shake. Even if I sometimes look at the mirror and hear their voices. I'm still here. And she'll always be the girl who needed an audience to feel strong. I'll be the boy who learned to breathe without applause. The end.